Charles Lindbergh was born February 4, 1902 in Detroit, Michigan. He was raised on a small farm in Minnesota. His father was a lawyer and congressman, but after the family's house burnt down, they lost all their money and Lindbergh's parents got a divorce. Even though he had a poor education, he had plenty of experience. He attended a total of 11 schools in his lifetime. He originally planned to go into mechanical engineering because of his fascination with machinery, such as the Wright brothers' plane. He was accepted to the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the engineering program. In 1924, Charles Lindbergh enlisted in the Army and graduated first in his flight class. He realized that he loved flying so much that he became a postal pilot delivering mail from St. Louis, Missouri to Chicago, Illinois. Earlier, in 1919, New York City hotel owner Raymond Ortigue offered a $25,000 prize to the first pilot to fly non-stop from New York to Paris. By 1927, the challenge had caused 4 deaths, 3 serious injuries, and 2 missing pilots. Lindbergh, however, was intrigued by the offer. Who will ever take the challenge?
I will!
He convinced 9 St. Louis businessmen to finance his trip. He helped build a special plane and named it
The Spirit of St. Louis!
in honor of his donors. He refused to have a parachute or radio on board, replacing them with more gasoline. The media called him the Flying Fool. On May 20th, 1927, 500 people gathered to watch Lindbergh take off from New York. He had reached the ocean by sunset, but the rest of his flight proved difficult. The fog had thickened, sleet gathered on his plane, and at times he was able to fly only 10 feet above the ocean. The first sign of Europe was a tiny fishing boat in the Atlantic Ocean.
Look, a fishing boat!
Within the hour, he was flying 1,500 feet above Ireland and England. On May 21st, 1927, at 10:22 p.m., Lindbergh arrived in Paris and encircled the Eiffel Tower at 400 feet. After the record-breaking flight, he got the name Lucky Lindy and became an international aviation hero. Once Lindbergh returned to the United States, he toured 92 cities, received the Medal of Honor, and was given a Distinguished Flying Cross by President Coolidge. After his flight, he became a flight consultant and planned routes for airlines. While planning a route in Mexico, he met U.S. Ambassador Anne Merrill, whom he later married. Later in his life, he had a child, and everything was well for the Lindbergh family. Until 1932, when tragedy struck with the kidnapping of his child. He and his wife paid a $50,000 ransom to release their son. The body was later found in the woods close to the Lindbergh house. A few years later, authorities found and executed the kidnapper. To get a fresh start, Lindbergh and his wife moved to Hawaii and had 5 more children. In the later years of his life, Charles Lindbergh joined America First Committee, which opposed the entry of the United States into World War II. However, after the bombing at Pearl Harbor, he became a technical advisor for the Army and Navy. He wrote the novel The Spirit of St. Louis, which won a Pulitzer Prize in 1954. 20 years later, he died on August 26th of cancer.